Holy moly, everybody. Just looking at the fixtures for this week, being the 16th week in the Barclays Premier League, there are some fantastically matched up teams that really should be an interesting contest. And really, it's all culminating in the very first game here at the Etihad Stadium, where Manchester City will take on Arsenal. And really, this is a match of the two title contending teams here. I think the match could go a couple of ways. Arsenal coming off a 2-0 defeat at Napoli in Naples in the Champions League and barely scraping through in their group stages. They're going to have, Arsenal, I'm an Arsenal fan, we are going to have a very hard couple of months to come up. We're playing City away, Chelsea at home, West Ham away, and then we've got in the round of 16 in the Champions League, we've got either Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, who are the other teams? Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich. So it's a very hard couple of months ahead for Arsenal. However, in this game, I think that they can, in fact, salvage a draw from it. Arsenal do have the best defense in the Premier League, and I think that coming off a draw to Everton and a loss to Napoli, they'll really want to stamp their authority at Manchester City on their home ground. That being said, it's Manchester City, they're at home. I think they're still undefeated at home, and they've got a great goal-scoring record there, so their fans will no doubt expect more of the same. However, I think that it'll be a very even contest. Arsenal's defence will cancel out Manchester City's attack, and it really will, as they say, be the cliche of the battle of the midfields. Whichever midfield can get on top, the team will most likely win the game, but I think that, again, it'll be equal, and expect the game to finish City 1, Arsenal 1. In Wales, Cardiff will face West Bromwich Albion, and I think that it'll be another draw again. Cardiff will continue to slip down down the table, while West Brom will kind of maintain their position. I believe it'll be a 0-0 draw. West Bromwich aren't that lethal going forward in the past couple of weeks, and Cardiff defensively have been conceding a few goals, and that was their kind of reassurance that their defence would be able to hold up, and that hasn't been. However, in this game at home in front of their fans, I think that Cardiff can get a draw, and it'll be 0-0 in Wales. Back in London, specifically at Stamford Bridge, it'll be Chelsea taking on Crystal Palace in a London derby. Now, Crystal Palace have won their last two games under new manager Tony Pulis, but I don't think, obviously, that's going to be enough to beat Jose Mourinho's Chelsea. Chelsea just got over, I think it was Bucharest or some kind of weird team that I cannot pronounce in the Champions League 1-0 thanks to Demba Ba, securing the first position there, and I think that they can continue their winning form at home, and I believe that they'll be able to beat Crystal Palace because they just have too much quality up front, and I think that the game will end there 3-0 Chelsea's way. At Goodison Park, it'll be Everton facing Fulham, and Everton again are the surprise achievers this season. Again, I'm not sure how they're going to cope next year with all the loanees returning to their clubs, but let's concentrate on this season and specifically this game here. I think that Everton overall have too much quality up front. As always, Romelu Lukaku will be a handful for the Fulham defence. I think that he'll have the pace, the strength, and the physical presence to dominate Senderos and Aaron Hughes, I believe, the other Fulham centre-back is. Also for Everton, their midfield is quite underrated. James McCarthy, Gareth Barry on the wings. You've got Pienaar, and their left wing especially is very dangerous with Baines and Oviedo, who's the replacement for Baines because he's injured. So I think that everywhere Everton are just a really deep and talented squad, and even though Fulham have been over the past couple of weeks defensively structured, which they've been quite sound, I don't think at home to Everton, away to Everton, they're going to be able to handle them, and expect Everton to win that game 2-0. At St James's Park, it'll be Newcastle versus Southampton, and I think that Southampton can get back to winning ways after a hard-fought 1-1 win to Manchester City. For Newcastle, their last outing was absolutely terrific against Manchester United, but I don't think they will be able to keep that going at home. This game, I think, will be a scrappy affair, and Newcastle will take the lead early, but expect the Saints to always be able to fight back and not be too far out of the game, and therefore I believe that Southampton will win this game 2-1. At London now, where West Ham will face Sunderland, and at Upton Park. And really, this game is quite intriguing in the sense that can West Ham be able to counter the Sunderland midfield, in the sense that Sunderland like to play a compressed type of game. They will not let the game go open. And can West Ham be able to get into the space, use the likes of Downing, Jarvis and Nolan, and get the ball up front to whoever plays there, whether it be Maega or Carroll whenever he returns from injury. For the sake of the match being at Upton Park, I believe West Ham will get the win. Again, their midfield is okay for a mid-tier club. They've got Diame and Noble, and those types of players can set things up for West Ham in the middle of the park. I don't think Sunderland, they've been unlucky in the past couple of matches, but I don't think luck will be able to play a part in this game, and I think West Ham will get the win there 2-1. At the KC Stadium, it'll be Hull City versus Stoke City, and Stoke City, I think, can carry their good form, carrying it from last week where they beat Chelsea 3-2, and Hull City a couple of weeks ago beat Liverpool, their first win against them, and last week they had a hard-fought draw against Swansea City. So I think that both teams are carrying very good momentum. For Steve Bruce's side, he does like to play a different formation. He won't always stick to the traditional 4-4-2. He will change things up, and it showed last week when he played 3-5-2. So I think that there's a bit of flexibility in the Hull City squad. That being said, Stoke City may just have a bit more talent going forward in the likes of Crouch, Asaidi, Charlie Adam. But I think that this game, again, can be an even contest, and for the reasoning that the game's at the KC Stadium, I think that Hull will put up a good performance and that the game will end 1-1. Now on to Sunday's games, where Aston Villa will take on Manchester United at Villa Park, and I think that Manchester United will be able to get the win here. Again, last season, remembering that it was against Aston Villa where they secured the Barclays Premier League title, and I think that they have had the wood over Villa in the past couple of seasons. I think let that trend continue, and United will go to Villa Park and kind of dominate Aston Villa, who, let's be honest, they haven't been playing the best football in the recent couple of weeks. Last week, going down to Fulham 2-0, and I think that they're a bit over-reliant on the same type of players. They haven't really changed up their game plan, and they're over-reliant on the likes of Benteke and Agbonaho to score the majority of their goals. For United, I think it'll be easy. Stop Benteke, Agbonaho and Wyman from playing and getting into space and creating havoc, and use your attacking threats in the likes of Rooney, who returns from his 5-game suspension because he picked up a yellow card. Van Persie, I'm not sure whether he'll start or he'll come off the bench because I think he's still got a little bit of a niggle. They've got Kagawa, Nani, Valencia. So United still, even though they're not hitting the peaks of former United squads, there's no reason to say why they don't have an abundance of talent up front. And I expect them to use that talent and expect them to win the game there 3-1. Now, this is always a very high-scoring and a very entertaining game. At Carrow Road, it will be Norwich City versus Swansea City. And over the past couple of seasons, these two teams, coming from the Championship in the same year into the Premier League, have always had very good contests with them, whether it's at the Liberty Stadium or Carrow Road. Both teams like to score goals, and it's a very fun affair. So even though it's not, it doesn't have teams that are in the top 4, top 5, this game's always exciting, and I expect that this game will be exactly the same as the past ones that have gone down in history. I think Norwich at home, they do have a lot of confidence, and I think that from their last outing, which was a 2-0 win at Bromwich, they'll look to continue that good form. Swansea, again, they were kind of my smokies to do really well at the start of the season with the likes of Boney and Michu, and I thought that they would possibly get into that Europa League spot. However, it hasn't been like that. Michael Laudrup's team have been kind of on an up and down, a mixed sort of season, and I think that trend will continue here. I believe that the final score will be 2-2, and it'll be a very entertaining game, maybe a red card here or there, and this will be a fascinating game to watch for any person that likes football and indeed the Barclays Premier League. The final game in North London at White Hart Lane, it will be Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. Now, Liverpool last week, it's dominating performance against West Ham, but again, it's against poorly opposition, whereas Tottenham Hotspur, they had to have a scrappy affair to get over Sunderland. Again, I think this game will be a draw, but personally, I think it'll be a draw, but I believe that both teams can have an opportunity to win the game. Again, for Tottenham, it's going to be whether they control Luis Suarez, don't allow him to have the space, and make sure that the balls from midfield, from your likes of Lucas Leiva, Jordan Henderson, Joe Allen, that the balls aren't allowed to play in behind them for the likes of Raheem Sterling and Suarez to latch onto, because then you'll be putting Hugo Lloris, your sweeper keeper, under a lot of pressure there. For Tottenham Hotspur, again, I think that their game plan, the players that they have are superb and world-class players. It's just that I don't think they're being coached in the correct manner, and I think that's down to Andre Villas-Boas. In this game, I really like to see his fullbacks getting forward. It's at home at White Hart Lane, so Tottenham really should be doing the attacking there and making sure that Liverpool have to play on the counter-attack and can't play under Brendan Rodgers their possessive game. So I like to see the fullbacks making those bombing runs forward, Kyle Walker, and whether it be Jan Vertonghen or Kyle Norton, I'd like to see them forward more. I'd also like to see Tottenham play without the two defensive midfielders. When you're at home, I'd like to see one defensive midfielder being able to sit in behind and protect your back four, and I think that will be Sandro. I think that the player that should really be your kind of box-to-box role, whether he has the allowance and the leniency to go forward, I reckon that can be Paulinho, because he has a physical presence going forward and back. And really, the player that should play in behind Jermaine Defoe, because I don't believe Soldado is just adapted quite now, I think Moussa Dembele, and that's a very powerful midfield, and for me, Dembele is a great player. He's got a cannon of a left foot, he's got a lot of tricks, and he hardly ever gets the ball taken away from him because he's got a great strength and physical presence. And for me, if that Tottenham midfield can gel, and they get the balls out to the wide players, who then allow the fullbacks to make those forward runs and overlapping runs, and then they get the players in the box, I think that Tottenham can, possess the ball very well and create a lot of chances that will give Liverpool problems. That being said, I think all that theoretical stuff that I've just mentioned about Tottenham could be a couple of weeks away, and I expect that it'll be a draw there, 1-1. Those are my predictions for the 16th week here. As I said at the start, there's a lot of great cracking matches, and there'll be more to come in the near future. Again, the fixtures are going to get quite condensed before the Christmas break, which is only about basically 12 or 13 days away is Christmas. So as it gets closer, I'll be making a couple more videos there about the fixtures and the matchups that will take place. Also, let me know in the comments section down below whether or not you want me to do Champions League previews and reviews, because I'm quite happy to do that as well. I do watch the Champions League, basically most of the games, because I can, and I would be willing to do previews and reviews on that. So if you watch this video, comment down below and tell me whether or not you'd like that as an idea, and you think that I should implement that, because I think that'll be great as well, covering the Champions League as well as the Premier League. And remember, it's only because the group stages are over in the Champions League, and there will be extremely good matchups with the best teams around Europe. So I hope you like this video. Again, comment down below for the Champions League, because I really want you guys' feedback on there. I hope that you like these videos and continue to subscribe and watch, and thank you very much for all your previous support. I'll definitely be making more videos in the future. Stay safe, happy Christmas, and goodbye.